Thank you all for being here, and we're so glad, Ritu, that you're here with us. I want to frame things here with a little personal story. I have a cousin who's in his early 60s, and he drives a school bus in the suburbs of Minneapolis. And he swears up and down that the bus that he's driving kids to school in every morning and every afternoon is the very same school bus that he was riding in 1974. Which is to say, I mean, his initials are carved into the back seat, the whole works, which is all to say that this is an industry, as you might say, school bus transportation is an industry that is ripe for disruption, and that is what Ritu and Zoom have been doing. So tell us a little bit more about how you chose this business challenge. You know, what made you decide this was a problem that was urgent to tackle?
Yes, thank you, Matt. Excited to be here in Singapore. So Zoom solves a student transportation problem that has not changed in 80 years. Just as you were describing, kids today pretty much are riding the same way they were riding for the last 80 years, or you and I did, our grandparents did. And a few years back, I was working for eBay when my kids transitioned to school, and I was seeing every industry around me getting disrupted using technology, but when it came to my personal life of picking up and dropping off my children, it was the dark ages. And interestingly, 30 years before that, my mom, who was an educator, had left the job for exact same reason. And it was kind of a curiosity of why nothing had changed in this area. So with Zoom, what we have done is we have reimagined the entire student transportation by connecting every single stakeholders, from parents to children, to drivers, to operations, to schools, on one single platform to bring transparency, efficiency, safety, and reliability. And
so to make this work, the children have an RFID card, is that right? That tracks their location, and it's tracked through a network that brings the buses and the schools together?
Yes, absolutely. So our routing technology has all the routes in the system. Drivers are using tablets, and when the child is onboarding the bus, they tap the RFID card. Parent gets notified your child has onboarded the bus. School knows where your children are, and when they get down the bus, they tap the card again, and everybody knows in the system that they have offboarded the bus. We have also been able to keep timeliness by doing that, by providing this to the system. Across the country, we have 98% plus on-time arrival and transportation for children, which matters a lot.
Yeah, yeah. This is good. It's better for attendance, right? It's better, essentially improves the education experience for the child. And for parents, especially parents in the service economy with jobs where the schedules aren't flexible, they don't have to worry about missing a day of work if the kid can't go to school.
Yep.
Hugely important.
Absolutely. I mean, you won't believe it's such an antiquated system using paper and pen and tracking that way that parents used to tell us, I can track my package using Amazon. Yeah. I can track my pizza, but I have no idea where my children are, and why is that so? Yeah. And that's a problem we are solving.
Because this is an AI-centric crowd, and it is Fortune Brainstorm AI, talk a little bit about the role that AI plays in this kind of tech stack that you're bringing to the schools and the parents.
Absolutely. AI is central to our business, and I'm going to talk about 3 specific use cases which might be very new to this particular group. So 3 specific use cases where we use AI is, number 1 is our AI-driven routing technology and parent app. The number 2 is our vehicle-to-grid charging program, which I'm going to talk about a little bit. And third is the operational productivity, given how many people are involved, thousands of drivers and operational staff, how we use it. So let me talk about each one of these in a little bit more detail. The first, our routing technology, what it does very soon, in a couple of weeks, US has a back to school. Hundreds of thousands of students are going to go back. And we have to design and redesign the routes for every single school district according to the local conditions. And our routing software is able to create these routes very quickly in record time, what would take months for these school districts. And in real time, optimize them based on various variables like traffic conditions, the school schedules that are there, the preferences and classes of children that are happening in different variety of school. And by doing that, we are able to optimize the commute time for students, and that is huge.
And if, heaven forbid, a bus were to break down, the system could very quickly adapt to that and reroute and scramble to make sure everybody got where they needed to be.
Absolutely, and that's the kind of peace of mind to everybody in the system, that no matter what, this technology will really help guide and use our existing infrastructure to continue to make the transportation happen every single day.
Gotcha.
And our parent app basically provides a very accurate ETA. Parents can track, as you mentioned, the kids in the real time, and they know exactly when the bus is arriving, when the bus is leaving. And I'm sure a lot of us are parents in this audience, and myself as a parent, it is frustrating when you don't know where the bus is. So it brings not only peace of mind to parents and all the schools and school districts, but it also reduces the commute time for students and saves school money.
That's amazing.
By designing the system in such a way that you are using the most optimal size of the vehicle.
And the money saving is an urgent point, too, for public schools in the United States, which are very often quite under-resourced. Talk about vehicle to grid. That's many of the buses in the fleet that you're introducing are electric. How does the V2G system work? What's it designed to do?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to share with you that electric school buses are having a moment. And the reason for this is electric school buses are the ideal asset to be electrified. They are largest battery on wheels, typically 4 to 6 times of Tesla battery. Mm-hmm. And they are one of those transportation vehicles that have very unique commute pattern. They commute locally, and they're not used for transportation in the peak demand of energy, which is typically evenings and summertime. Mm-hmm. So what we have done, we have made a decision right from the day one that all of our electric buses are equipped with bi-directional charging. When the buses finish the transportation at the end of the day, they come back to the lot, they get plugged into the grid, and using our AI-driven vehicle-to-grid technology, they provide energy back to the grid. And by doing that, they actually create a very powerful virtual power plant, which is powering the homes in a very clean energy way in the local communities. So it's such a big win-win-win. It not only reduces the emissions, the electric vehicle, but it also reduces the emissions and the grid resiliency in the community.
And AI is overseeing a lot of that interchange to make sure that the power needs match the...
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's an AI-driven virtual power plant which knows exactly when to charge the buses, when to discharge them, and what's the optimal way to do it.
Got it. Because I warned you earlier that our time would fly, and our time has flown, but I'd love to know, Ellie mentioned that you've recently had a new funding round that, among other things, gave your company unicorn status, so congratulations. What are some of the plans? How do you plan to deploy the new financing? What are the next steps in the building of the business?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm proud to say our last round was led by GIC, which is a Singapore-based sovereign fund, but invests globally across the world, and they look for businesses that can be scaled and very long-term in outlook. So we are very proud to partner with them in AI, using the AI to decarbonize the transportation industry and make a big impact on society. And if I were to talk about our plans, it's the momentum, essentially momentum in expansion and momentum in electrification. We are in 4,000 schools across the country in 14 states. And we recently announced Oakland is the first school district in the country to be 100% electric with bi-directional charging, giving 2.1 gigawatt hours of energy back to the grid. So our goal is we are not going to stop until every child across the globe has that access. That's
really remarkable. Ritu Narayan, we're so grateful that you're here, and wish you all the best of luck with Zoom. Please thank her for her time. It's so great to have her here. It's such an honor.
Thank you.